In the day's other news, new worries about war in Ukraine sent Wall Street looking for cover. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 622 points, 1.8%, to close at 34,312. The Nasdaq fell 407 points, that's nearly 3%. The S&P 500 slid 94, that's down 2%. California will shift its approach to COVID-19 from pandemic to endemic, still a threat, but considered manageable. Governor Gavin Newsom announced the move today, the first by any state. It emphasizes prevention and quick response, but leaves various emergency orders intact. Meanwhile, researchers at the University of Washington estimated 73% of Americans are now immune to the Omicron variant. We'll talk with Dr. Anthony Fauci about the pandemic after the news summary. Busloads of Canadian police began arriving in downtown Ottawa today as hundreds of truckers braced for a crackdown. They've been protesting against COVID restrictions for nearly 3 weeks. Today, work crews put up fences outside Parliament, and the city's police chief warned that authorities won't wait much longer to make their move.
We've been bolstering our resources, developing clear plans, and preparing to take action. The action is imminent. To those engaged in the unlawful protest, if you want to leave under your own terms, now is the time to do it.
Most of the truckers insisted again they won't be moved, but as night fell, police arrested one of the protest organizers. In Brazil, the death toll reached 113 today in flooding and mudslides near Rio de Janeiro after 10 inches of rain fell in 3 hours. Tuesday's storm swept away homes and cars in the city of Petrópolis. More than 115 people are still missing. Authorities fear many were buried in the mud. Back in this country, Florida has joined states moving to ban abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy. The Republican-controlled state House approved it early today, with no exceptions for rape or incest. The bill now goes to the state Senate. It's modeled after a Mississippi law that's now before the U.S. Supreme Court. Hundreds of people gathered in Minneapolis today to remember Amir Locke. The 22-year-old black man was shot and killed by police who were serving a no-knock warrant earlier this month. The Reverend Al Sharpton told mourners today that Locke was not guilty of anything except, quote, being young and black in America. And relatives rejected the official response to the killing.
We don't want to continue to hear about being a police officer. It's a difficult job. You have to make split decisions. You fear for your life. You were not drafted into the police department. You chose that profession. And if you think being a police officer is a difficult profession, try to be a black man.
Locke was killed as police hunted a homicide suspect who had stayed in the home, but it turned out he was not the man they were looking for. A New York state judge has ordered former President Trump to answer questions under oath in a probe of his business practices. He's been subpoenaed by the state attorney general. Today's order also applies to Donald Trump Jr. and Ivanka Trump, the former president's 2 eldest children. The ruling is almost certain to be appealed. The Supreme Court of Oregon today barred former New York Times columnist Nicholas Kristof from running for governor. The court found he has not lived in the state for the required 3 years. Kristof called it very disappointing. At the Winter Olympics, Russian teenager Kamila Valieva failed to medal in women's individual figure skating as a doping scandal swirled around her. The 15-year-old fell twice in her free skate competition and finished 4th. Her teammates won gold and silver. In women's hockey, Canada beat the U.S. 3-2 and took home the gold medal. And American Mikaela Shiffrin was disqualified for the 3rd time this Olympics after skiing off course in the Alpine combined. And Guinness World Records has declared a behemoth strawberry as the heaviest ever recorded. The fruit was grown on a farm in central Israel and tipped the scales at more than 10 ounces. It took a year for Guinness to confirm the berry's claim to fame. I guess it wasn't still edible.